Welcome to the All Financial Hour podcast with Steve All.
Online influencer Bill Sturzenbaugh is 2 years into retirement, and one aspect that he hadn't tackled yet was actually paying for possible long-term care. So Bill went into research mode, and he came up with 4 options. Listen to this.
And the options are: option 1, just putting $500 a month in a index fund, total market index fund. Option 2 would be using a property as my long-term care insurance and then either financing that property or liquidating that property in the event that one of us needs long-term care. Option 3 would be some sort of universal life policy with a cash value and a long-term care rider. And option 4 would be a straight long-term care policy, which is my least favorite option.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks feel like that. Long-term care is a whole different ballgame. I want you to get into that as well. Is Bill missing anything, Steve?
No, not really. And I would say a lot of people in long-term care, it's really why I switched industries. Because my mom and dad, prior to me getting into this industry, they went to stockbrokers that sold them products, but they didn't do a lot of planning. And when my mom went into a facility, we had the long-term care plan that most people out there have today. Everybody out there has a long-term care plan. And I know that somebody just looked at it and said, I don't have a long-term care plan. And I say, yeah, you do. You had the exact same one my parents had. Which asset are we going to sell first to keep mom in the memory unit when she goes in? That was the plan. And I had to look at it and said, Steve, you're helping business executives, but you're not helping people like your parents. What's wrong with you? So we did. We had to look at this thing and make it part of a plan. Income, risk reward, taxes, legacy, and what's going to happen if you have a long-term care exposure. And I think he put them fairly well. Self-pay. It's easy for me to talk to somebody about doing long-term care planning if they've had a loved one in a long-term care facility, because they know how expensive they are. Most of the other people have the same thought process. Well, that's not going to happen to me. That's not going to happen to me. So that's where you have to start looking at where it's at. Straight long-term care insurance, I believe our industry's done a very poor job of doing that, because we look at it here in the St. Louis market, where the big fancy places, they're $10,000 to $12,000 a month, and we want to do a $12,000 a month plus inflation policy for a couple. And as soon as they look at it, they almost always say the exact same thing. I can't afford that. Doesn't make any sense. We're selling Cadillacs, and we might just needed a VW at that time, something to offset the cost. So we look at that one there. The indexed universal life. That has been a very good way to assist people in covering it. Most of them have what's called a chronic illness rider. Some do have straight long-term care coverage, but I like that chronic illness rider, because that rider says if you need it, you get the death benefit early. Maybe over 4 years, slightly reduced amount, because they know you're probably going to pass anyway. So they're willing to do that. So for myself, I've got both the straight long-term care policies and I have the indexed universal life. Why? Because I had a mother that needed it. And I believe that for myself, covering that for myself and my wife is very, very important. Because I get a lot of people that will come in today and say, hey, I don't want to take all this deal. My wife's got to go into a facility and I want to save it for my kids. They used to have businesses built on that 16 to 20 years ago. You can't do that today. They used to throw grandma in jail for getting rid of her money so that she could save it. Then they looked at it and said financial advisors are the one that tell them to doing it. So they started saying the financial advisors get the problems, not grandma. So we can't really make you broke so that the government can pay for your long-term care exposure. So the question that I have, if you're not sure how you would cover a long-term care exposure, call now. Ask for the long-term care and the legacy planning so we could look at ways that you could cover it, but not be just use it or lose it. Give us a call now. Ask for that legacy planning.
And the best news, guys, is that it's no cost, no obligation to you. If you'd like to sit down with Steve or a member of the team and start putting together your legacy plan, again, built custom just for you, give a call today, 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. It might surprise some folks that NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal is also a proponent of financial literacy. He's currently out with a money management podcast called The Break Room. And in one episode, he explained his greatest investment.
I used to see this rich guy, really rich, older, 80, old Rolls Royce. And I asked him, I said, how? And he taught me a word I never heard. Yeah, Shaq, you need to invest in an annuity. And I never knew what it was. And I looked it up because I was making so much money from commercials and all, I didn't know what to do with it. And he's like, yeah, all this money you're making, if you put it away, you can invest it and you can start collecting at 50, 60, and 70. So that was my greatest investment.
Before I get into the question here, I want to focus on something he says there that I probably will never say is I was making so much money, I didn't know what to do with it. Oh, my gosh.
But you look at it, they don't have pensions.
No, they don't.
They get paid a lot.
A gazillion $1 million for shooting basketballs.
Yeah, they make a lot of money in a short period of time. And one of the negative things about it, a whole lot of those professional athletes, when they stop playing, a few years after that, they file for bankruptcy.
Oh, it happens all the time, yeah.
Because their lifestyle got so expensive. But Shaq is one of the ones that is different. LeBron James is different.
Yeah.
Those guys have so many investments. It's unbelievable. And that's the one that he mentioned, an annuity. You know, and when I say annuity on the radio, I know some of y'all just grew horns because you've got this horror story about Uncle Bill that bought an annuity, died 6 months later, and the insurance company kept his money, so all annuities are bad. You know, and we start to look at the different things that they can go. So what he was talking about was a single premium immediate annuity where you put your money in and you get a stream immediately. What Shaq was talking about is a deferred annuity. That's basically saying I put money away today so that in 10 to 15 years from now, when I'm going to retire, I can turn on a stream of income. And once I turn on that stream of income, I can do it for just me and my wife, and that life insurance company is going to guarantee that that comes in for the rest of my life, even if the money gets to zero. The good thing about the annuities today versus the annuities 15 to 20 years ago, if I prematurely pass and there's any value in my deferred annuity, it goes on to my heirs. And I think that's the things that are different. The things that we're looking at now, think about the safety in a car today versus what safety was a car in the 70s. We're not even in the same playing field. And that's what's happened with the changes of annuities too. So if you have an annuity and you're not sure exactly how it's going to fit within your retirement plan, call and ask us for an annuity x-ray. We'll look at the annuity that you have and say, what's the best thing you can do with this? Sometimes replacing it might be a good idea, but not always. We have to do the analysis to do it. And if you're also looking to that and say, man, I don't have a pension, Steve, I could actually create my own personal pension. Yes, you can, by setting aside some of your money to be able to get that thing that they're looking for, that income stream that they cannot outlive. Give us a call. Either on either side of it, annuity x-ray, or how do I get this personally funded pension? Give us a call. Ask for the annuity information from the All Financial Group.
Yeah, get it right here. Again, no cost, no obligation. This annuity x-ray, guys. Again, by the way, this is using your custom numbers. This isn't like Steve's just going to hand you a worksheet and go, hope this makes sense. You're going to sit down and put together your own very numbers. Again, 636-230-8824. Again, the phone number is 636-230-8824. The website, yourmoneymattersstl.com. Steve, for those that are thinking, hey, this annuity x-ray thing sounds pretty good, what's this first appointment with you? What's it like?
First appointment, we're going to come in. You either meet with me or with my paraplanner. It all depends on the situation. And we're going to gather that information. We're going to find out what your wishes, hopes, and dreams are. We're going to analyze your current investments. How much risk are you taking for the reward that you're getting? We're going to look and figure out how we can look at an income plan. How are you going to replace that paycheck in retirement? I'm very big on the idea of reducing taxes, so we're going to do a tax analysis. We'll gather all that information in the first appointment, and we're going to bring it all back and deliver it to you in that second appointment. Give us a call now. Ask for the comprehensive retirement plan.
Again, that comprehensive retirement plan can be yours. No cost, no obligation. 636-230-8824. The website, yourmoneymattersstl.com. There was a recent survey by Allianz, and it estimates that nearly half of retirees are anxious about spending their savings. So what's one way to help them overcome it? Well, financial planner Kevin Lum says you need to look at something called an income annuity.
Annuitized income won't maximize wealth, but it can maximize spending confidence. The average person with an annuity spends twice as much money as someone with a similar portfolio invested in the market. Now, the portfolio owner ends up richer, but the annuity owner feels more secure, even if they end up with less money.
Interesting here. I mean, Steve, you've been doing this for decades here. Have you seen this with some of the clients who come in and sit down with you?
I think that's one of the toughest things for people when it comes to retirement. Most of the people that come in to talk to us, they've basically done the rules, save like nobody else, and then when you retire, you can retire like nobody else. Mm-hmm. But because they've gone from save, some of them are very uncomfortable spending that money. And as I like to put it, when we get them in there, you've saved your entire life for someday. Guess what today is? Someday. This is someday. And sometimes that can be very difficult to sit here and say, I'm going to start spending down the assets. And I think that's a big difference between somebody that just gives investment advice, which stock, bond, mutual fund, which ETF model are we going to go with, versus planning. Because one is just based on rates of return. And as Kevin put it, is you might not have as many assets if you take it, but having that guaranteed income that's going to come in every single month, that what I like to call personally funded pension. If you can set aside enough of your money to guarantee that lifestyle, you're getting ready to retire, there's a gap between your current incomes and your lifestyle. If we can guarantee that payment for the rest of your life, and if you're married, for you and your spouse's life, and then use all the other assets that we have to help offset inflation, do the extras, the things that we really want to do, I think those is very important, because every month that check's going to be sitting in your account. It's kind of like that added security of Social Security. Now, Social Security is guaranteed by the government. It could be possible changes, but it's there. What if you have a corporately funded pension? That company, they're going to continue to pay you and your spouse. They're guaranteeing that money. In this case here, you've set some of your money aside, and an insurance company is going to guarantee that you get that money for the rest of your life. It's just that availability to know that it's going to happen. There are other ways that you can get that income. I like the annuity because it's guaranteed by an insurance company. I can also take and build a bond portfolio or a stock portfolio, and then you could take it out. But those investments will go up and down, can fluctuate. This gives me that added peace of mind that check's going to be there every single month. So, if you would like the idea of that guaranteeing your lifestyle, give us a call. Ask about the income plan so that we can sit down and figure out how you're going to replace your paycheck when you decide it's time to retire.
Thanks for listening to the All Financial Hour podcast.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG. All Financial Group, LLC is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG are not subject to investment advisory requirements. IPW and All Insurance Group, LLC, AIG are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. All Financial Group LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by All Financial Group LLC.
This radio show is intended for information purposes only.